I spend a lot of my time working with executive teams, and a challenge that I see a lot is that there's a number of senior leaders who have risen through the ranks because they were technically brilliant at a particular skill. So they've been promoted into people management and slowly developed this second craft of leadership. But now we need them to step up. Now we need them to step fully out of the weeds and out of operations, and now to spend most of their time thinking and acting at a strategic, organizational level. Now, if you relate to this or you see this in some of your executive team members or your cohort of senior leaders, let me share with you what are the blockers to them doing that and being more strategic, and what should they do to start to develop that skill. First of all, here are the two blockers. It's extremely difficult to think and act strategically in the course of your daily work if one, it's not already a habit for you, and two, if you're under pressure. So if you want your people to be developing the skill of thinking and acting strategically, they're not going to be able to do it in the course of their daily work. Here's what they need to do. First of all, the approach they should take is that of deliberate practice. That means carving out time separate to their daily work to be able to work on this. Think about drills that you used to do when you were training for a particular sport. You'd take a skill that you weren't good at, and outside of the game, you'd take some separate time in training to drill this skill and do it over and over again, so that when you got to the game, you were great at it. You had that skill ready to use. This is what we want to do with this particular skill, right? Have some time separate to their daily work where they drill the skill so they can be strategic in their day and in their week. How do you do that? Okay. The way you do this is with what I call balcony time. Now, this draws on the work of adaptive leadership and the book of the same name, where we know that if you're working with adaptive problems and in an adaptive kind of environment where most of the challenges you're dealing with as a leader are complex, challenging, have no clear solutions, and are constantly changing, then it's really important that rather than spending all of your time on the metaphoric dance floor and doing all the busy work, that you also have frequent visits to the metaphoric balcony, where you get some perspective, you can see the lay of the land, look for trends and patterns in your work, and be able to pivot. So the key thing you need to do as a senior leader who wants to be more strategic is make time for deliberate practice through balcony time. How do you do that? You block out at least a couple of hours at the beginning of the week, the beginning of the day, before emergencies and crises start to develop, say 8 to 10 a.m. on a Monday. And that time you protect it, it is your hill to die on, and that's the time where you practice being strategic. How do you do that? You start by asking yourself these two key questions. The first one is, what do I need to nail this week to be on track for my long-term goals? So you sit and open up your 3 to 5 year plans for your team, and you backward engineer or reverse engineer what needs to happen this week to be on track. And you reorganize your diary to make space for those big rocks, those most important things. So you're thinking longer term, you're training your brain to think longer term. The second question you ask yourself is, what does the business need from me right now? So this is not the plans that I've made and sticking to those, that's important, but also I need to be responsive to what's happening now and how things are changing in ways that the plans may not have predicted. So let's think broadly across the business. What does the business need from me right now? Think carefully about that, think deliberately about that, and then build that into your week as well. So we're developing two skills with these two questions. One is to think long term, and one is to think across the business, organization-wide. What is it needing from me right now? This is the starter for strategic thinking and then strategic acting using balcony time for deliberate practice. I encourage you to share this video with your executive team or your senior leadership cohort so that they can start to be more strategic. Hope this helps. Have a great day.